Hi everyone, Chris here from IELTS Advantage with yet another VIP success story. Today we have Brijesh, who has kindly agreed to share his success story with you guys and talk about the struggles that he was having and how he overcame those struggles. So there's lots of really good information that you guys can learn from and you can be successful too in the future. So Brijesh, can you start off just by introducing yourself to everyone?
Hello everyone, my name is Brijesh. I'm basically from India, but I've been living in the US for almost 3 years. And yeah, I joined this course to improve not just for the IELTS exam, but overall the English aspect because I've been living in the US and I know how important is to have English in your daily speaking as well as listening and all the aspects of English exam. So, yep.
Excellent. And what were your final scores, your successful scores?
I attempted my exam in November, last November, so this November 2020, and my scores were, my listening was 8.5, the reading score was 9, writing score was 7, and the speaking was 7.5.
Excellent. Congratulations. Those are amazing scores.
Yep, thank you
So
so much.
let's back up and talk about your IELTS journey a little bit. So can you tell us a little bit about your journey? Like how many times did you do the test? What scores were you getting before you were successful?
Well, I started my IELTS journey beginning of this year in January when I wanted to try to apply for different countries for immigration. So it started from there. I was looking on the internet and different websites. The information I found on the different websites was very vague and it was so misleading. I was trying to find some, specific source that can be helpful for me, but like I said, it was different websites, different information, so all was misleading and confusing to me. So it was COVID-19, and most of the centers, I think, in almost every country was shut down. So basically, that helped me to have some more time to work on my English. So I decided to join IELTS, your IELTS Advantage course. I actually, before joining this course, I attempted few of your I don't know those tutorials on the YouTubes and many different like a weekly course or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but I attempted those and it really helped me to at least just the start and also to get the exact format what I can expect and. Yeah, then I look at a couple of video stories online and I figured that okay, this would be interesting and it would be really helpful, it's going to be helpful for me, and I decided to join the course. I think I joined this course in May, and since after doing this course I had started to work on my first of all structure, like I was going through this old video, the introduction video. It helped me to how to go through this step by step, first to learn the all the videos, to learn the structure, then the grammar course, vocabulary course, depending on your weaknesses. So I think from May to July I had mostly work on this whole writing academic course. It has all different structures for the depending on different types of essays for particularly general training writing task too. So that helped me first of all to learn how to address one particular question according to one particular essay for that particular structure, right? Because different essays have different structures. That's what these different websites don't show you. They'll just give the general format, and you don't know what what exactly how you want to uh, put the good structure. So that actually helped me first of all to learn the structure. So what I did after first getting this whole idea of different structures for the different essays, I submitted first essay, and that was corrected by Phil, and that helped me to learn the to identify my main weaknesses, not just the structure but also vocabulary and grammar aspect.
Mhm.
So I still remember in that first essay I got, I think, band 6.5. This with the structure, I even after learning this all different essay structures from your website, it was just like learning and going through these videos. And then I started actually practicing those structures. So I mean, it was, I knew that I'm going to make some mistakes for sure. So
Yeah.
first essay, I think I remember I put one more additional idea in the conclusion, which is completely wrong.
Yeah.
Then also my example sentence wasn't particularly addressing the topic sentence of second main body paragraph. That was also the issue I found. And there are many grammar and vocabulary mistakes, particularly articles and prepositions with the grammar. That was really helpful because that opened my eyes that, okay, how I should now address my issue, my weakness in the next essays. And I used to spare almost 10 to 15 days before I before I submit the next writing correction service.
That's why you were successful. Because
Yeah, because
a big mistake that a lot of students make is they think that if they just get feedback after feedback after feedback after feedback, that they're going to improve. And really, the improvement happens between feedback sessions. And so it is much better. It's actually if you had two students and one student does two feedback sessions in 2 weeks versus a student who has 14 feedback sessions in 2 weeks, the student who the first student is going to way outperform the first student because they are working on improving their weaknesses rather than just practicing. I don't know if you go to the gym or anything like that, but that's what they say about, like, if you want to get fit or build muscle, it's not about how much you lift weights. It is about the recovery period in between. That's when your body breaks down and grows, so it's very similar to that. So that's really good advice for anybody watching. Practice does not make perfect when it comes to especially IELTS writing. It is getting feedback and then taking action on those weaknesses that the examiner highlights for you. So it's a good point to make.
Yep, that's exactly right. I mean, I don't know for others, but maybe for me, after getting this video correction feedback from the teacher, so it took me at least 10 to 15 days to grasp all the different, corrections for the grammar and for the structure. I mean, after getting that feedback from the teacher, what I did, I basically gone through this all mistakes and try to attempt the different essays by myself and then reviewing the same essays for those particular weaknesses. That's how I did. And then again submit it to after 10 to 15 days to see whether I'm making the same mistakes again or what kind of issues I'm facing. So that kind of approach, and I did the same for almost like 3 months. And I wrote essay almost every day. But I think along with writing your essays, you need to have, like you said, you need to have feedback to realize mistakes, because you just submit one essay, I mean, you're not gonna get the whole idea of your holistic approach of your all writing. So you need to submit multiple essays. You need to get the because you write different topics of essays, you get different ideas, different. You need to use different vocab. So. So that's why you need to. I believe it. You need to have at least 3 months. You write essays consistently every day, or maybe 4 to 5 essays in a week, right? And then reviewing first by yourself in those essays to see if you could find any mistakes. I'm sure you would if you realize your mistakes. That okay, in grammar, if articles are mistakes, then if you, after writing your essays, you go through this essays and just mark those particular words for the vocab mistakes and same for the prepositions. That was really useful. And then I think I remember my ideas were not particular introduction statement that were not very clear. I still remember I got reviewed from my third essay from Sandy Scott, and he identified that particular weakness in my introduction statement. I think my first idea was not clear, and he mentioned that needs to be crystal clear. And I basically stuck to that particular word. And since then, I try to write in the very, very simple manner. Like I was thinking that, okay, if someone is going to read my essay, not just the examiner, anyone, they need to understand what I've been writing, and what the sentence I'm trying to write, and what kind of ideas I wanted to convey. That's how I was thinking during the writing of this whole essay structure. And that's the same strategy I used during my actual exam too. So that was important, and I also realized that I think that in my fourth essay, I remember I used to put like 2-3 different ideas together in one single main body paragraph, and I think that was corrected by Sanya, and that helped me to focus on just two main ideas. I need to have correct structure, like, okay, your topic sentence, explanation sentence, one or two explanation sentence followed by example. So that helped me to focus, to particularly adhere to that particular structure for the whole essay journey, whole IELTS journey. Still, I don't know. I still used to make the same mistakes again. I didn't put the examples. In some of the essays, I didn't put the examples at the end. So that was the last essay that I submitted to for the correction service, and that was corrected by Phil again. And it really helped me. He said that you need to have first your main body paragraph, then first explanation sentence, then if you have second explanation sentence, then followed by example. I still remember in my second main body paragraph in the essay that I submitted to Phil, uh, I just wrote topic sentence, explanation sentence, explanation sentence. There wasn't any example. I thought that should be fine, but he said no, that you need to have that example sentence for sure. Uh, then I think again the grammar, those articles and preposition mistakes were still there. But what I used to do throughout my entire journey, like I said, I used a couple of websites. I think the one that you mentioned, justtheword.com.
Yep.
That one, there was one more website for to see your prepositions part. I completely forgot that name right now. So basically, after writing this essay, I highlight the words in my essay, and then I would go through these websites to see what kind of prepositions that particular word would take, including collocations, what that word particularly take, and the kind of articles. Because some of the words don't take articles. Like I know I've gone through this whole grammar course about articles. You have like very deep and yes, about how to use specific and general articles, and yeah, things like that. So that really helped me a lot to improve on my articles mistake, because that one was my consistent weakness throughout my journey. But like I said, I wrote a lot of essays. I reviewed by myself, reviewed by your team, and that helped me to not just to identify, but also consistently working on those weaknesses and to improve on them. So I would advise anyone that you need to write a lot of essays, different, not a lot of essays, but at least different types of essays based on different subjects. So you know what kind of vocabulary you need to use, what kind of collocations that would go with those words, kind of articles, prepositions based on your weaknesses, and you need to be persistent. First of all, I would prefer to write without time constraint, as you advise everyone. That's very important, because whenever you try to write within time limits, you're going to make many mistakes, particularly in the initial stage. Once you get familiarized with everything, once you know your weaknesses, and you've been constantly working on your weaknesses, then you should be fine to write within the time constraint. But first initial phase, I would prefer to write without time constraints. So the main goal in the first round, in the first phase, is basically to identify your weakness and consistently working on those weaknesses to improve on those particular aspects, whether it's structure, vocabulary, or any parts of grammar. Yes.
Can I just go back and highlight a few things that you said, just to help people watching at home? So the first thing, you talked a lot about that you learned our structures and you studied our structures. But the interesting thing that you said was, even though you went through our structures and learned them, when you did the essays using those structures, you still were making structural mistakes and errors and doing the wrong thing. And that's a really important point to make to people watching, because a lot of IELTS students believe that they can just go and look up a structure, memorize it, and then go and use it on test day. And that is very foolish, because 99% of students are going to make mistakes without getting feedback. And that is why feedback is so important. Like, structures are useful, but when you combine using a structure and then getting feedback on whether you are following that structure, that is very, very powerful, because then you know, okay, I'm following it 90%, but there's this little thing I'm not doing. And I think structures are not only useful for students to follow, but they're very useful for teachers, because teachers can then look at the structure you're using, look at your essay, and instantly tell you, okay, this is the one part that you're not following. And then you and the teacher know exactly what to do and how to fix it. So in other words, feedback is really, really important. And it's something that we hear from students all the time. Like, students will email me and say, can you just give me a list of structures? And we say, no, like, we're not going to do that, because they're not going to help you. You need the structures and to be able to get feedback from us, ask us questions, all of those different things. The other thing that you said was Sandy gave you that advice of make sure everything is crystal clear. And that is one of the best pieces of advice that you can get about IELTS writing, because really what IELTS and Cambridge are testing is, can you communicate clearly or not? They're not testing your structure. They're not testing your vocabulary. They're not testing your grammar, really. They're using all of that to see, can this person, if they move to Canada, if they move to the UK or Ireland or wherever you want to move to, can they clearly communicate with people in English in those countries? So if the only thing that you do when you're preparing is focus on clarity, we always say, like, clarity is king. Make sure that everything is as clear and as easy to understand for the reader as possible, then you will dramatically improve your writing. And think about why do we write something? We don't write to show off our structure or grammar or our vocabulary. We write to communicate with someone. So make your main goal to clearly communicate with people, and it will also mean that you don't fall for misleading advice, like, use fancy structures and fancy vocabulary and fancy grammar, because that doesn't improve communication. It actually leads to a deterioration of communication. The other point that you made was practice without focusing on time. So I think that's a very common mistake that a lot of students make, or maybe not a mistake, but they stress a lot about it. So they are preparing and they're looking at the clock and trying to get everything done in 40 minutes. And my advice would be, take as much time as you like when you're first learning. Take 2 hours, 3 hours, have all of your notes with you, check Google, check a dictionary, check a thesaurus, and really focus on just mastering all of the different strategies and techniques. And then, like, let's say you do that and it takes you 2 hours, then try and do it in an hour and a half, and then an hour, and then 50 minutes, and then 45 minutes. It's like the example I always use is, when you're learning to drive a car, the instructor doesn't take you on to the freeway and go at 100 miles an hour. You start, unlike riding a bike, tying your shoelaces, anything, you start very slowly and get better and better and better. And then also, interestingly, my final point, you learned during lockdown, and I think a lot of people that was a real benefit to them, because all of the exam centers being closed meant that people focused on just getting better rather than booking their test and rushing towards getting, because a lot of people like, oh, my test is next month, let's just learn as quickly as possible. That's the wrong mindset to have. The right mindset is, get to the level you need to get to and then book your test, not the other way around. Because and we've seen a lot of students become successful recently because of the lockdown. It wasn't great for the world, but every cloud has a silver lining. The good thing was that a lot of students did get, are now getting the scores they need because they focused on improvement rather than time. So yeah, would you agree with all that?
Yep. I'm completely agree with that. It's really important that initial period you don't pride with the time, otherwise you may mess up many things. Because you basically you want to learn and you want to know your mistakes and things like that. So it's very important to first go through the course and learn, then practice and review your mistakes and things like that. So yeah.
So I wish you the best of luck, Brijesh, in your next move. You're moving to Canada, so I wish you the best of luck there. I hope you're not moving right now. It's a bit cold there at the
moment.
Move in the springtime or the summertime, so you can acclimate to the harsh winters there. But no, I congratulations again, and we were just a small part of your success. You did 99% of it, so because you had a great mindset and you worked hard. So anyone watching, your mindset and your attitude will dictate your score. If you're like Brijesh and you have the right attitude and you work hard, you'll get the score that you need. So there's a lot to be learned from Brijesh, so well done.
Yep, thanks a lot, Chris. Yep.
Thank you. And if you need anything in the future, just let us know. All right.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hey, Chris here again. Hopefully you enjoyed that success story video. That student was part of our IELTS VIP course. And on that course, we show students exactly where they're going wrong and exactly what to do to get the score that they need. And we give them all the help and support that they need in order to get a 7, 8, or even 9 in their IELTS test. Now, we only work with a really, really small number of students. Because of the level of help and feedback and support that we give students, we can only work with a very, very small number of them. But we also have more success stories than any other online or offline course in the world, which has created a huge amount of demand for our course. So we're the only course in the world, I believe, that has a very, very, very long waiting list. If you want to join that waiting list, all you have to do is just click here and you'll be able to add your name, add your email address, and then when one of our students becomes successful and leaves the course, the next position can be for you. Hopefully see you in there. Bye-bye.